10 FIFA World Cup facts about African teams you probably didn't know. What if I told you that an African team once defeated the defending world champions in their very first World Cup match? Or that Africa came within a single penalty kick of reaching a World Cup semifinal? Or that one African nation has already accomplished something no team from the continent had ever done before? Welcome to Africa Berry Studios, where we create, inspire, and impact through authentic African stories. Today, we uncover 10 fascinating FIFA World Cup facts about African teams that many football fans around the world have never heard. These stories reveal not only Africa's football journey, but also the continent's determination to challenge the world's greatest teams on football's biggest stage. Let's begin. Fact number 10. Africa was once given just one World Cup spot. It is difficult to imagine today, but for many years African nations had almost no representation at the FIFA World Cup. Even after many African countries gained independence, FIFA allocated very few qualification places to the continent. African football leaders protested what they saw as unfair treatment. Their campaign eventually succeeded, allowing more African nations to compete. Without those early struggles, many of Africa's greatest World Cup moments might never have happened. Fact number 9, Cameroon shocked the defending champions. The year was 1990. The location was Italy. Few expected Cameroon to survive the group stage. Their opening opponent was Argentina, the reigning world champions led by Diego Maradona. Football experts predicted an easy victory for Argentina. Instead, Cameroon stunned the world. They defeated Argentina 1-0. The result remains one of the greatest upsets in World Cup history. More importantly, it forced the world to take African football seriously. For the first time, people realized African teams could defeat anyone. Fact number 8. Roger Milla became a global icon at 38 years old. Most footballers retire before their late 30s. Roger Milla was different. At age 38, he became one of the stars of the 1990 World Cup. His goals helped Cameroon reach the quarterfinals, but what many remember most is his celebration. After scoring, Milla danced beside the corner flag. The images were broadcast around the world. Suddenly, millions associated African football with joy, confidence, and creativity. To this day, Roger Milla remains one of the most recognizable figures in World Cup history. Fact number 7. Senegal's first World Cup match was against France. Imagine making your World Cup debut against the defending champions. That was Senegal's reality in 2002. Their opponent was France, the same France that had won the World Cup 4 years earlier. Many expected Senegal to be overwhelmed. Instead, Senegal won 1-0. The victory shocked the football world. It was one of the greatest opening match surprises in tournament history. The newcomers from West Africa had announced themselves in unforgettable fashion. Fact number 6. Senegal reached the quarterfinals on their first attempt. Most countries spend decades trying to make an impact at the World Cup. Senegal needed only one tournament. After defeating France, they continued their remarkable run. Match after match, they exceeded expectations. Eventually, they reached the quarterfinals. Only Cameroon had achieved that feat before them among African nations. The achievement cemented Senegal's place in World Cup history. Fact number 5. Ghana came within one kick of making history. Many historians consider this the most heartbreaking moment in African football. During the 2010 World Cup, Ghana carried the hopes of an entire continent. The Black Stars reached the quarterfinals and faced Uruguay. In the dying seconds of extra time, a Ghanaian shot appeared destined for the goal. A goal would have sent Africa to its first World Cup semifinal. Then came the handball by Luis Suarez. A penalty was awarded. History stood only 12 yards away. But the penalty struck the crossbar. Moments later, Ghana lost the shootout. For millions of Africans, it remains one of football's greatest what-if moments. Fact number 4. Africa hosted the World Cup before it reached the semi-finals. In 2010, South Africa became the first African nation to host the FIFA World Cup. The tournament was a celebration of African culture, music, and hospitality. The famous sound of vuvuzelas echoed around stadiums. Billions watched Africa host football's greatest event. Yet despite the historic achievement, no African nation had reached the semi-finals. That breakthrough would have to wait another 12 years. Fact number 3. Morocco changed African football forever.
Allah is the greatest.
At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, Morocco achieved what no African nation had ever done. They defeated Belgium. They eliminated Spain. They knocked out Portugal. One of the tournament's biggest surprises became its biggest story. Morocco reached the semi-finals. For the first time in history, an African team stood among the final 4 nations at a FIFA World Cup. A barrier that had existed for nearly a century had finally fallen. Fact number 2. Cameroon became the first African team to beat Brazil at a World Cup. Brazil is the most successful nation in World Cup history. For decades, African teams struggled against the South American giants. Then came Qatar 2022. Cameroon defeated Brazil 1-0. Although Cameroon did not advance, the victory added another remarkable chapter to Africa's World Cup story. It proved once again that African teams are capable of defeating football's biggest powers. Fact number 1. Africa's best chance may still be ahead. For decades, African football has steadily climbed higher. Quarterfinals, semifinals, historic victories, global stars, and now more World Cup places than ever before. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will feature the largest African representation in history. Never before have so many African nations had the opportunity to compete on football's biggest stage. The dream that began with pioneers like Cameroon, Senegal, Ghana, Nigeria, and Morocco remains alive. The question is no longer whether Africa can compete. History has already answered that. The real question is, which African nation will become the first to reach a World Cup final? And could one of them eventually lift the trophy? The story of African teams at the FIFA World Cup is a story of persistence, courage, and belief. From Cameroon's shock victory over Argentina, to Senegal's unforgettable debut, to Ghana's heartbreaking near miss, and Morocco's historic semi-final run, each generation has pushed African football further than the one before. Perhaps the greatest chapter has not yet been written. Perhaps somewhere in Africa today, a future World Cup champion is dreaming of making history. Thank you for watching Africa Berry Studios. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe, like, and share. And join us as we continue uncovering the untold stories that shaped Africa and continue to inspire the world.